excited to be sharing this episode, and I feel like this is in the realms of public service announcement. And the topic for today is that you don't have to be fully healed or fixed in inverted commas, to create what you want. And especially in business, this applies to every area of your life, but especially in business. And so I want to dive into this because I'm a master trainer of NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis. I've been doing coaching and therapy for 8 or 9 years now. I've done loads of work on myself. I've gone into a lot of the esoteric sort of studies as well, consciousness work, a whole lot of things. And I've done a lot of work on myself, which has been phenomenal, and it's made big changes in my life, in my personal life, in my health, in my relationships, and definitely in my business. And it wasn't like I got to where I was now before I started creating what I want. So this is what I want to talk about today. Because have you ever really felt like that you can't move forward because you're not there yet, right? Wherever there is. And I can assure you that there is a consistently moving target. And so you might feel like you need to fix just one more thing about yourself, or heal one more wound, or get rid of that one more block before you're ready to create the life or the business that you really want. And this is the thing that we get so caught up in. And I think this is the thing that is one of the traps about the personal development industry. Now, I love personal development, but I think that one of the things that people get stuck in is that it's all about healing and fixing things about yourself. And it's not. It's very much around, yes, doing the work to resolve things that create discomfort and dis-ease. That was a bit of a pun there. In yourself. However, the main focus that a lot of people forget is, what is it that you want to create? And this is really important. And, this is something that I've seen not just in my clients, but also in myself. And for years, I thought that I had to reach some mythical state of perfection before I could truly create what it was, the success, whatever that success was for myself. But the truth is, and this is what I've come to find, which I alluded to before, is that the journey to healing and growth is ongoing, right? So waiting for this complete readiness, or waiting to just move that one thing, will absolutely keep you stuck. And so this is what I want to demystify for you. So there's this full myth around being fully healed. And in fact, I can remember crying to my coach, a few years ago, going, oh my God, will I ever get rid of all my stuff? Well, the truth is no, because your identity is defined in accordance to the orientation to your current reality. And as you, as humans do, continue to want to grow and evolve and achieve more things, that changes. Right? And you uncover different parts of yourself that are not in support of that new goal, or that new thing that you want to achieve, or, the success that you want to have. And so there is this pressure to be perfectly healed, and we see, especially with social media, that we get this idea that people are just living their best life all the time, and they don't have any problems, and their relationships are perfect, and their kids are perfect, and their business is just on this steady upstream of growth, and everything is amazing. And it's not the truth of how things are, because it's not the truth of humans. It's not the truth of why we're here. There's always contrast. There is as much support as there is challenge, right? There's as much success as there is failure. It's this ongoing, where we get the contrast of the dark and the light ongoing. And so, getting this glorified idea that you must be completely whole and healed before you take any bold action is just simply not true. Okay, and waiting for this just creates this waiting for permission, waiting for confidence, waiting for the right time, waiting, the one that I hear people say, oh, I just got this gut feeling that maybe this wasn't the time for me. No, that's called fear. right? That's called fear. It's just buying into that kind of story. So the truth is that growth is a lifelong journey, right? There's no finish line where you're suddenly done. There's no where you get to where you suddenly go, oh my God, like everything now is just like I'm complete in my life. And now I'm just going to coast along in the most amazing way. And not to say that there isn't times where you will, uh, I'm just trying to get my iPad to go silent. I don't know how to do that. There's not to say that there aren't times where you will go, I feel like everything's really good now in life. Everything's really good in my life right now. I definitely have times of that. And, that's part of the universal model of change. We go through cycles where we go, yeah, everything's great in my life. I'm feeling good in my health. I'm feeling good in my relationships. I'm feeling good in my business. I'm feeling good about where I'm going. And you'll go along like that for a little while. And then what generally happens is that at some level, we get a little bit bored of that because it's like, okay, I know everything here. Now maybe I want to try something else. I want to learn something new. I want to reach another level. Or maybe something else happens that you weren't expecting and it kind of knocks you a bit. And you go through a stage of going, oh, do you know what? Now I'm back in this place where I don't know. I'm not on top of everything. Maybe my health isn't where I want it to be, or my relationship's having problems, or there's been some kind of setback in my business. And then we feel like we're not in control of everything again. And it might bring up some, deep wounding. It might bring up some deep fears or concerns or worries, or, that whole feeling of like, I don't feel safe in whatever's going on. This is really normal. And so we need to stop glorifying this. There's going to be the perfectly healed, that everything's just going to be smooth sailing once I get there. And know that there is no finish line when you're done. The finish line is like your final days. That's the finish line. When you're not here, as long as you're here on earth, you're going to be continuing to grow and evolve and facing challenges and do all those things. So if you're waiting until you're fully healed, or waiting until you clear whatever block it is that you think is still hiding there, then you're going to miss the opportunities to grow and create along the way. And this is really super important because I want you to know that, I work with a broad range of clients. I've got clients who are just starting their businesses, and I've got clients that have been in business for a long time and they're making tens of millions of dollars in their business. And they all come to me, and I help them with their business and their structure, but a lot of it's got to do with their personal relationship to themselves and their business, and how that's impacting them and where they want to go to the next levels. And so it's not like people who are, making multi-millions of dollars in their business have got it all worked out either. Right? It's not how it is. Everyone who is creating success are there doing it because that they are going ahead and taking action regardless. Right? I've got people who are very successful who come to me with stress, who come to me with anxiety, who comes to me with imposter syndrome, who come to me feeling powerless. They've already got a lot of success. It's not the truth of who they are. It's just part of where they're at. They're still taking action. And part of that action often is getting help and support so that they can feel better in themselves and they can move ahead faster, right, with more clarity. But it doesn't stop them, right? It doesn't stop them. And we have to know that when we're continuously seeking growth and setting goals, we're going to continually see where we're out of alignment in that. And that's part of the journey moving forward. If that wasn't part of the journey, you would just go, okay, I'm going to set a goal, and then bang, you would have it. It doesn't happen like that, because it's not about it's not about just achieving the goal. It's who do I become in achieving that goal? And the only way you become that person is by taking steps towards it. Okay, you can't become the person who has the success that you want before you take action to get to there. It's the journey that creates that success for you. It's often the journey that even helps you to continue to heal and grow and evolve in yourself, because you're already enough now. You're already enough now to get started, to take that next step. And this is the power of taking action. There is something so powerful in taking action, because action in itself can be healing. Right? Action in itself can be healing, because when you step forwards towards your goals, you will build confidence in yourself. You will build momentum, and you build evidence that you're capable, right? And you'll continue to learn along that way. Perfection isn't required for success, right? Commitment and consistency is what's really required, right? That you're committed to your goals, that you're committed to your outcomes, and that you take consistent action towards them. And so you really got to think about, okay, what is already within me now? Yes, I know that there maybe are some blocks, and maybe there's some fears, maybe there's some things that I'm out of alignment with, but that's only part of it. What else do you already have within you? Your existing skills, your existing strengths and resources, right? Really understand what are those powerful things about you, okay? Because at any given time, there are amazing things about you, just as there might be, and I can tell you there's a lot more amazing things about you than there are not so amazing things about you. But what does our mind do? Our mind looks for the things that aren't right, right? It's looking to control the situation. It's looking to confirm what our ego believes to be the truth. What our egoic identity, which is made up a lot of our beliefs and values and things that we've learned about how the world is, right? It's all subjective. None of it's true. It's just a reality that our ego likes to have so that it can orientate itself into what is current reality. Okay, but we can choose to focus on what are our strengths, right? You can choose to identify with your strengths, with all the reasons why you should be going ahead and achieving your goals, and really acknowledging any of those fears or doubts that you have and loving them anyway, right? Knowing that it's the imperfections that you have that make you relatable, and authentic, right? Especially if you're a coach or a therapist or some kind of service provider. People want to work with real people. They don't want to work with some perfect person who's never had a problem. Or how are you going to solve my problems if you've never overcome a problem? Right? How are you going to expect that people think that they get along with their lives and make a positive change and achieve what they want if you're trying to make it out like you're perfect? It doesn't make sense, right? So we've really got to think about this. What are the strengths and skills that you have, and how can you move ahead anyway? Because otherwise, you're going to set up this expectation for yourself and even for your clients that there is some destination you have to get to. Right? There's no destination you have to get to. You just need to have a clear focus about what it is that you want to create, and then make consistent action towards that. So I want you to really think about this for yourself, right? You know, what's one thing that you've been waiting to do until you're more ready or fixed, right? What is it? It might be doing videos on social media. It might be having your own podcast, or it might be being a guest on someone's podcast. You know, the amount of people that I've spoke to in my community, and I've said, I would love to have you on my podcast as a guest. And they say, oh, I don't think I'm ready just yet. What ready for what? All you've got to do is turn up and have a conversation with me about the things that you're passionate about and the journey that you've got to your business, and as a way of inspiring other people. Right? But it's that kind of stuff. And it happens quite a lot. So if anyone's listening to this and you go, oh, that was me, there could be several of you, because it's a common thing that people do. I'm not quite ready yet. Right? But what if you just went ahead anyway? What if you were just showing up exactly how you are and took action anyway? How inspiring could that be for people? How inspiring could that be for your ideal clients, that you're taking imperfect action? So what's one small step you can take today to move towards it anyway? It might be sitting in a date where you're going to run a free masterclass, right? It might be starting a Facebook page. You might be right at the start of your business and you're just thinking about actually putting this out to the world. Just do it. Just do it, because the thing that people usually get caught up in is like a moment in time where there may be a reaction, a moment in time when someone might say something, a moment in time when, there might be, I don't know, a conversation that they have and it feels a little bit uncomfortable. Well, guess what? That's just one moment in time, and it's going to mean nothing compared to when you move past that moment in time and it becomes normal and everybody just knows that this is who you are and this is what you do, and they're cheering you on because you just leaned in and kept on taking action for whatever it is that you've created. And so I think this is the thing that we need to think about when it comes to perfection or having everything fully sorted out or everything healed, right? Is that we need to give ourselves permission to be imperfect. We need to give ourselves permission to be imperfect and to keep evolving. And I think when we think about this, it's your imperfections and ongoing growth that really make you uniquely qualified to help others and to create impact. I know for myself that my growth over the last 8-9 years has been why people keep working with me, because I keep growing and evolving. And so they want to come along that journey with me. Like I'm leading the way. There are people who want to step along that path with me. Okay, it's not because when they first started working with me, I was like who I am now. I mean, I was who I am now, but I didn't have the same depth of knowledge and understanding and wisdom and everything that I have learned through my own growth and, continued studies and experience. Right? I was further back in my journey, but I've continued to grow and they've been able to see that. And so that adds to now when people say to me, like, Toni, you're so authentic, like you keep walking your talk, you keep moving along, because it's okay for people to see me where I'm at any kind of time. And you have to be able to know that at any point in time, no matter what you've got going on that you think is imperfect, it's okay. It's okay. You're human. You're allowed to be human. And so it's you knowing that this journey itself adds to the depth and richness to your experience and to your work and to your life. There's things that happen in my life all the time. My life's not perfect now. Even though I have got a set of incredible skills in communication, in understanding mindset, in understanding esoteric work, in understanding how we create reality, in understanding business structure, and all these kinds of things, life still happens, right? Just last week, I had, it was a really challenging week. On Thursday last week, my beautiful pet, Rosie, my cat Rosie, of 15 years, passed away. And I was very sad about that. I was really very sad about that. And on the very same day, my daughter had a car accident. And my daughter's fine. She's okay. She wasn't injured, luckily. And her dog was in the car and her dog wasn't injured either. But her car's likely to be a write-off, right? Now, I was stressed about that. I was really worried about my daughter. And I'm still running a business and doing things and, things happened. And the coaching call that I showed up for with my community the next day, I got emotional while I was letting them know what had been happening because my energy wasn't where it normally is. And I said to them, I'm like, my energy is not where it normally is today. I was there. I was being honest with who I was, because it was natural for me to be processing this. And I communicated that, and then I moved on with what I was doing. Okay, so there's there's going to be challenges in your life. There's going to be times where things don't go how you want them. There's going to be all kinds of things that happen, right? But it's how you show up and how you lean in and how you keep going that is really part of the growth. It's part of the learning. It's part of what inspires people. It's part of how you get to where you want to be. Right? So instead of seeing healing as something that you need to finish before you even start, see it as something that unfolds as you go. Right? You don't have to have all of the answers for you to know what is the next step. Right? This is really important. If I think about for public speaking for me, so there was a time when I was absolutely petrified of public speaking. And I remember when I was still working in my accounts role, my work used to have monthly employee awards, and one was best team member and one was best groomed, because it was in hospitality. I worked in the finance department, but it was hospitality, so presentation was important. And I used to get nominated for this best groomed, and I won it. And I can remember standing in front of my colleagues receiving this award for best groomed, for basically turning up looking nice at my job. And I was petrified. I was shaking. I would feel myself going red, my voice wavering. I had an incredible fear of public speaking. And of course, I did a lot of work on myself and went through that. But when I first started public speaking, I didn't wait until I was just like, oh my God, I'm just going to walk on stage and absolutely own it, and I won't have any problems at all. It's just going to be easy. No, when I first started public speaking in my business, it was still challenging for me. I still had to lean in. I still had to feel a lot of fear. It wasn't as bad as what it had been previously, but I had to go through that process. And it was in going through that process that I learned that, in fact, I'm good at public speaking, that I do engage and entertain people when I'm public speaking. I had to go through that it was part of the journey. There was no way I was ever going to get to a point where I was comfortable to stand up in, rooms in front of people. And now, I've trained groups of over 100 people. I've run networking breakfasts where there's rooms of 20, 30 people. And, I've regularly been in front of groups. But there's no way that I would have been doing that if I waited to feel good about it to start. Okay, part of that was, yes, there was some think work that I did on myself, but I also just took the action and went there anyway. I lent in. I did the things and then found I didn't die, right? That's always good to know. It's more valuable than what you think, actually, knowing that you can go and do something and you didn't die. Right? Anything that you're feeling fear of, it's your ego identity that thinks that if you step out of the realms of what it thinks is safe, what it thinks is possible for you, or anything else, feels like you're going to die. Well, you've got to trump that. You've got to take action and go, you know what? Even though there's part of my ego that thinks that I'm going to die and that this isn't safe for me, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to take control, and I'm going to show it that it's okay. And that's how you continue to build that confidence, right? How you continue to build that consistency, be committed to that growth and those outcomes. Okay, so really know this, right? Healing and growth are ongoing processes. You don't have to wait to be done to take action. Right? Your imperfections are not obstacles. They are part of what makes you relatable and resilient and capable. Right? There's part of when you show up, when you've got, whatever stuff that you've got going on and you show up anyway, people cheer you on, right? People cheer you on. And taking those small, imperfect steps now creates that momentum and aligns you with the life and the business that you truly want. And so if this has resonated with you, if anything in this episode has resonated with you, I want you to take a small action today. Like whether it's reaching out to a potential client, sharing your message, like in a video, or, putting something out on social media, or just starting that project that you've been putting off. Maybe it's like there's a course that you're like, yes, I want to launch this. There's a masterclass. Just trust that you're ready now. If you've received that idea and that inspiration, it's for you to take action on now. And if you want to dive deeper into creating aligned success while still growing and evolving, reach out to me and or check out my programs. There's a very new program that's launching called Business Alchemy, which is designed especially to help people really get aligned with their money mindset, with their business mindset, and also the structure of business so that you have a rock solid foundation in business and you really take action. And there's processes in there that I share with you around how do you separate these fears and these, imperfections that you perceive about yourself. How do you acknowledge those and still show up and move towards your goals? And some very powerful processes in there. And of course, there'll be weekly coaching with me as well. So definitely reach out to me about that. And remember, you don't have to be perfect to make progress. You're enough right now, just as you are.